Hey, guys. Hi, Dre. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're well. I've decided, since you're already waiting, I would do you the honour of starting 2 minutes early. You're still there. Guys, we're here to do the player ratings for Manchester City 4, Liverpool 0. And each time I say that, it sounds good. Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy? I'm well. I hope you are too. Each time I say that, it rolls off the tongue. Manchester City 4, Liverpool 0. Look, as I said yesterday, they won the league. So, it's just a small little victory for us right now. Sure, there'll be more in the future. Danny, buzzing after last night. It's a funny old thing, Danny. I think if I'd been at the ground, I'd be on cloud nine still. I'd be buzzing like you. I've come off it quite quickly, just because of not being there, and not having any fans and mates and whatever that were there. Sometimes if you don't go for whatever reason, and your mates are there, you have a good time still. So, chatting with them or whatever, and it's still not the same. It's still not the same. But hey, beating Liverpool, whatever the circumstances, I take that every day of the week. So buzzing, stay buzzed till Sunday at least. Let's get that that game against Southampton. You can give your family stick, give everybody stick. Hey, Blackpool Blu-ray. Trust me, it's a massive shift tonight. Evening, Akram. Evening, Danny. To me, Liverpool's first game, and they got spanked. Sounds a good word. Spanked. Blackpool Blu-ray. I tell you what, I put a shift because I had this interview at 10 o'clock with this journalist, and so I had to do a lot of prep. We were doing a composite team between City from 27-18, our Centurion season, and this current Liverpool team. And you'd be surprised at some of the stats and some of the things that you could quite easily forget by what City achieved. First of all, you forget what City achieved that in 2017-18 compared to what Liverpool done now. And we say, Liverpool are all conquering and all this and that. But in the last few league games, they've had that loss to Watford. They drew with Everton. They've lost to us. And, they're stumbling. I mean, they've already over the line by a long way. But they're stumbling towards their 100 points. Actually, if you think about it, we stumbled a bit. We stumbled a bit towards the end as well. We lost to United. We drew with Huddersfield, and we only just got our noses in front at Southampton. Ikram, wait till I'm hoping to, if I have enough time to edit it, it'll come out tomorrow. But it's a 1 hour video, so there's a lot of work to do to add the graphics and the pictures and stuff on that, Ikram. It's quite funny. We did I think it was just over an hour. We had an hour's chat on live, and then we had an hour's chat afterwards. I had to go. In the end, I had to go because my lad had a piano class. So we spent, basically that was well over 2.5 hours on that. And then I did a video with Bernard at 2:30. And in between, I was doing some editing. So from about 1:30 to 2:30, I was editing. Then I did the interview with Bernard. Then we did the one at, what time is it? Just before 4 o'clock. And that was another hour, an hour and 5 minutes. And then here we are again. All my days been here. And then my wife grabbed me to do some moving and tidying. And in our we call it a spare room. It's going to be our wardrobe. Fortunate enough to have the space. So this room is going to become our wardrobe. And it was just piled high with a load of stuff. Some stuff I hadn't seen. I opened one cupboard and I've got bags and bags. Seriously, 4 bags of candles. And these aren't little tiny candles. My wife said these are the kind of candles that Notre Dame would be jealous of. These candles are like this long. Seriously, these candles are massive. Because I was into candles years back. And so, yeah, we're just finding a lot of stuff. The kids are finding toys that I'd been saving up for them for the birthdays and stuff, and that I just left in there. And then obviously, you know, always that moving to France as well and everything else. And we just dumped stuff there. So we've been doing a lot of tidying. So we've got sort of the rails out of clothes and the wardrobe and the ironing board and all that. So a lot of work. Let's have a look. Danny says, if you think Pep is going to let Liverpool keep the title, no way. I hope so, Danny. It's not easy. I mean, look, on last night's performance, you think, well, how can there be 20 points between the teams? Excuse me. But Liverpool will be back. You know, they've not got this far. They might have run out of a bit of steam, but they've not got this far because they're a poor side. Actually, absolutely, Dre. We did make a statement. We weren't smashed. We stumbled. Yeah. We stumbled. But that loss to United was a bad one. Saptak, we can't give KDB a rating until we get to him, man. Klopp was fighting during his interview. It's got to hurt. And even if the players don't care, it hurts Pep. It hurts Klopp. It's personal pride, professional pride. Right, I'm not going to wait till we get 10 people. And did you see the documentary on Pep last night on Sky Sports? Take the ball, pass the ball. Nope. I might have seen that. Might be an old one, isn't it, Danny? It might be an old one. I might have seen some of that or all of that before. I mean, I haven't got time. I'm obviously doing so much. I mean, I didn't leave the stream till nearly 11 o'clock last night. So I mean, I've been working solidly for 2 days on the channel. I haven't got time to do my own stuff. So we've got a big weekend before we get going. We've got a big weekend. I'll be away from Monday. We're going on our holidays on Monday, sort of. We're going away on Monday. So I've got a lot of. We promised ourselves to do a lot of tidying up and chucking stuff away, chucking clothes and chucking as much as we can away. So we'll see how that goes because I'm a hoarder. I don't like throwing stuff away. You know, I keep old clothes. You know, they might come back into fashion or I might fit in them. Right now, there's no chance I fit into most of my clothes. Sad to say, I put on so much weight, as you can see. Put on so much weight, and Ikram, we'll be in Paris, so there'll be no live stream. I don't think on Monday. I haven't decided yet, but it's going to be tough because we'll be arriving in our flat probably, I reckon, 10 o'clock, and it's not really the first thing I want to do is do a stream. You know, once I arrive around 9:30, 10 o'clock. It's not top of the list. So I don't think there'll be a stream. There'll be a vid out on Monday, of course. Got to do it. Got to do a vid. But I don't want to miss out on the player ratings. But there'll be some videos out on Monday. Somehow I'll get some videos out for you guys on Monday. You know me. I'll try and, if I have time, if Bernard's awake, I'll try and get the Bernard interview on Monday. If Bernard's not free on Sunday night, Sunday night? What time's the game? It's 6 o'clock, isn't it? Is it at 6 o'clock? On Sunday, I can't remember. Yeah, I'm sure it's 6. We'll have a check. So if we get enough time on Sunday night, I'll record that with Bernard and stick it out on Monday. Have a little check. What time the game is? 7 o'clock. That's it. 7 o'clock. It's a tough game for me that because I've got a meeting at 6 o'clock. So. It's going to be a bit tough. I've got this annual general meeting of this association I'm a part of. So it looks like I will do a very, very quick team news, which will be 5 minutes, and then I've got to go to this meeting. I've been to Paris, beautiful city, so Parc des Princes, PSG Stadium as well. How long are you going? Don't know yet, Ikram. We don't know when we're coming back. Fortunately, there's no quarantine at either end at the moment. But we don't know. Yeah, it's BBC. So we don't know when we're coming back in, Ikram. That's going to be a problem. No, it's on Sunday, so it's all right. Whilst I'm in France, it's going to be a bit of a problem to watch the footy. But yeah, we don't know when we're coming back. It'll be a few days at least. We've got a lot of work to do, a lot of people to see. We haven't seen, friends. I haven't seen friends for, feels like 6 months. Could be as long as that. I'm trying to think of it. I might have been once, but I hardly saw anybody when last time I went. So anyway, we're coming up to 10 minutes and people are drifting away. Let's get this show on the road. So Edison, what we're going to give Edison? I thought he made some excellent saves. I was wondering where he was. Was it that Mane shot early on? whichever shot, whoever shot it, when he was a little quite far out of his goal, but he punched it away. He got away with that. I think that's one where Mendy messed up. So he got away with that. But, you know, he came out a couple of times where he had to come out early. You have to be on your toes. You have to be on your guard. You have to be aware and you have to focus and concentrate. And he come out a few times and made his interceptions. Generally, I thought his passing was good. I thought his passing was more than good. It was, you know, there was one where he passed it to a Liverpool player that causes a bit of, a bit of a worry. There's some butterflies there in our stomachs, but I think overall he had a decent game. He did everything he had to do. He kept a clean sheet, and that's against the Liverpool team. And he was lucky as well because they had plenty of chances. But he made some good saves, overall. And I don't think you can knock him. I'm going to give him, what shall I give Eddie? Eddie. I mean, we spanked Liverpool 4-0, so you've got to give him a decent mark. I'm going to give Edison. That means I'm going to have to give some high marks if I give Edison too much. I'm going to go with Edison 7.5. I'm tempted with 8. Go on, give Edison 8. Give Edison 8 because the defence had to work hard, especially with the control and passing get around at the back. So I'm going to give Edison 8. Let's put this speaker on, guys. After all that, I'm going to put my speaker on. That will work a little bit better. Just let me know if that's it. Is that better? The sound better now? Put the speaker on because I didn't have the speaker on. My microphone. Dre's giving him 7.5. Yeah, come out tackle. Danny's giving him 7.5. Blackpool Blu-ray's giving him 7. Looks like I'm generous with my 8. But we stuff Liverpool, so there's going to be some good marks tonight. So that seems like. Just let me know. Is that sound better than it was before? I mean, I've done 10 minutes already. And now I've got the microphone on. I forgot to put the click it into my computer. Great clearance with his right foot too. Yeah, overall, I can only think of that one mistake, and I can think of 3 or 4 good moments from Edison. So there you go, a good mark for him. Kyle Walker. I mean, I always think, did he make any big boo-boos? Did he make any big mistakes? I don't remember. A couple of times, I think it would have been nice for him to be back. A couple of times where, it's the way we play. He's pushed up where Garcia was under pressure from Salah and Mane. But I thought Walker had a decent game. As I said, a few times I think he could have helped out. I mean, you guys have got to help me here. You've got to tell me what you think about Kyle Walker. I'm tempted to give him a 7.5. Dre's giving him a 7.5. I think 7.5. Let's get this a bit closer. I'm going to give him a 7.5. I think, he did all right. He did all right. Nothing spectacular. The Daleman, hey, not seen you for a couple of days. I think the Daleman, nice to have you in the house. Daleman's giving Walker a very nice 8. Any more? Danny's giving him a 7.5. There'll be some good marks tonight, I'm sure of that. He's the best we've got, by a long way. 8 for Eddie. What are you going to give Foden and KDB? 15. Well, there you go, Blackpool Blu-ray. I'm pushing the bow tight. I'm pushing the bow tight tonight. I don't want to come across as tight with my marks. I'm pushing the bow tight. Edison gets so Kyle's getting a 7 from Blackpool Blu-ray. I might even do. I'm not brought my phone. I was going to do prize draw. I've got another prize draw. And I'm sorry, Blackpool Blu-ray. I've got to say this, mate. I've got to say, your line isn't good enough. I said for that, the one I did with the caption competition, you have to do a better line than mine. And right now, I'm sticking with mine. It's not going to be any easy competitions. If you have to put some effort in, you're going to have to put some effort in. But anyway, I've got this other competition that I'll draw. I'll probably do it tonight once I'm off air. And I think I can't remember if you're in that Blackpool Blu-ray. I think there's 11 people in that other competition for a T-shirt. So someone's going to get lucky. Anyway, so that's Garcia. So we move on to Garcia. 19-year-old kid. At some point, you can't give him the benefit of the fact that he's a kid. At some point, you say, and say, look, we won't mark him harshly for any mistakes because he's a kid. I think that's wrong now because he started a few games now. Started against Arsenal, started against Liverpool, and I think he's had in his last 4 games, like 4 starts he's had this season, he's had 3 clean sheets. Passed neatly, but made a few slips. Yeah, Garcia gets a 7 from the Daleman, 7 from Dre P. It was hard. You got to remember, he's 6.5 for Imikram. Wow, that's a bit tight. That's a bit tight. But I think he'll gain confidence from this performance. I think overall, yeah, he's got to gain confidence. He had a decent game, 6.8 from Danny. Yeah, he made a couple of slips, but you're playing against Firmino, Mane, Salah, some of the best attackers in overall in world football, and you are being pressed by Liverpool the way they can press. So, I think that's a very, very tough ask. And I'm going to give Garcia 7.5. 7.5 from Blackpool Blue. I agree. The more City got on top, the more comfortable Garcia looked overall. He was always susceptible to the ball over the top, Always. That's how Liverpool play. And you've got to also remember, he can't drop off. You've got to play that high line. You can't drop off 5 yards in case Salah or Mane, the ball's lumped over and they chase it. You can't drop off. So you've got to play the high line that Pep wants. So we are playing a very risky game. So I think, I'll cut him some slack, not because of his age, but because of the situation and how he played. And Emerick Laporte. And I defy anybody to say he did any much better than Garcia. He made some good interceptions. I was just watching a little highlights reel of his play today, and he made a couple of interceptions, important ones, but it's one of those things. They're interceptions you'd expect a half-decent defender to make, so I don't give any extra kudos for making those interceptions. Laporte's getting a 7.5 from Dre P. I'm going to give Laporte a 7.5 as well. I don't think he played much better than Garcia, if truth be told. And it's steady game. Dre's up in that to 8. Damon's giving him a 7. I think he was probably marginally better, but I'm not going to give him the extra half mark for that. Any more on the doors before I move on to Bendy Mendy? Baby Shark Mendy. Hi, Faris. How you doing, buddy? We're all up to Laporte. Laporte gets an 8 from Aaron and a 7 from Blackpool Blu-ray. So, quick, Faris. We've only done Edison. Too late. Don't worry. We've done Edison. We've done Walker. We've done Garcia. And we've just done Laporte. So, you can chuck in names if you want. Bendy Mendy. How are we going to go with Mendy? Look, for me, he made that clanger early on. And I did say, and I'm not going to hide from it. There was a client on social media who said, Laporte 8. Well, let's do this first. So Dre said Mendy 6.5, started 4, ended 7.5 and 8. Laporte gets an 8, Garcia 7.5 from Faris. And I'll say this, and I'll repeat it because I think it is worth repeating, okay? Just because you might have a big supporter base, okay? Don't say Mendy made a mistake early on, but I'm going to cut him some slack, basically. I'm going to cut him some slack because it was early on in the game. That's a lot of boulder. That's an absolute tripe. It's absolute rubbish. As I said earlier, it doesn't matter whether you made a mistake in the first minute, the 30th minute, or the 90th minute. A mistake is a mistake is a mistake. If Mendy had got a red card after 2 minutes, yeah? If Mendy had got a red card after 2 minutes, do you think this fella would have turned around and said, oh, it was only after the second minute, so I'm going to excuse him that mistake of getting a red card? An absolute phony, absolute phonus balonus. Look, it's his opinion, it's my opinion, and I'm going to counteract his opinion. Just because you got a big following doesn't mean your opinion means jack, okay? It doesn't matter when he made the mistake. It doesn't matter at all. He made that mistake. And yes, he got lucky. We got away with it. Everybody made mistakes. I think I was chatting with Bernard earlier on today. And we said everybody was making a mistake or two. Okay? Absolutely, Aaron. Nice to have you in the house, buddy. Oh, I might have missed you if you were in a... you said Mendy 6.5. And that's my point, Aaron. Yeah? If he'd gifted them a goal, would that person have turned around and said, "Oh, I'm gonna forgive him. I'm gonna forgive him because it was early in the game." Or if, as I said, if he'd got the red card, you say, "Oh, hands up, forgive Mendy. He got a red card after 2 minutes. I'll still give him 8 out of 10 because it was early in the game." That's absolute ludicrous. And it's, for me, I'm gonna push the boat at you. It's someone loving the sound of their own voice or their own tweets who's saying stuff like that. Yeah, just because normally he gets nodding dog treatment from thousands of followers. You get nodding dog treatment and you end up saying some absolute tripe, and you still get nodding dog treatment. Well, I'm not for that. A mistake is a mistake is a mistake whenever it's made. Let's go through. Mendy's getting a 6.5 from Aaron. Daleman's giving Mendy 8.5. I can't go that far. Faris is really impressed with Garcia. Aaron says 7. Mendy 7.5 for a dodgy start, but he's getting better and better, says Blackpool Blu-ray. Ikram's giving Mendy a 7.5. Did well going forward and looked much better. Error early on, which he needs to work on, reassuring performance. I'm going to give him a 7.5 because we stuff Liverpool and so we stuff Liverpool, and I'm giving all the players decent marks. And that early mistake aside, he had a decent game, put some good, dangerous crosses in, and it was pretty reliable overall. I think I can't remember easily. It might have been, someone might have beat him once, but it was all right overall. Exactly, Drake. Depends on the magnitude of the mistake. That mistake that Mendy made, it could have led to a goal. And I think, was it Mane should have done better with it. So top players should be switched on from the start. Absolutely, Aaron. That's what I say. You've had your warm up. You're there. You're focused. You're concentrating. You've got to be switched on from the start. Absolutely, Blackpool. It shows character to come back from a mistake rather than go and hide. That's what Pep said about Zinchenko. Was it last season or season before that he comes out? And he's the one who doesn't put his head down. Hey, the Storm, hope you're well. I think that's Mendy's getting a 7 from the Storm. Hi, Mark Armstrong. Wow. Who's you going on off of Mendy? No, Mark. Certainly not best game in a blue shirt. Absolutely no chance. The time we beat Liverpool 5-0, that was a good game in a blue shirt. That's my opinion. I'm not having to go at Mendy. What I'm saying, I'm having to go at the person who said because Mendy made a mistake early on, he's going to let that slide. Yeah, because it was early on. And I just said that's an absolute load of rubbish. It's tripe. Mendy's best game was last season, first home game versus Huddersfield 6-1 Aguero hat-trick. I think Mendy's played better, Mark. Mendy had not a lot to do. And it's when he can put crosses in. That game against Liverpool, I still remember that cross to Leroy Sané. It was a peach of a peach of a peach. Yeah, I'm all right, Storm. Busy day today, but I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing. We're going away on Monday, going to Paris on Monday, so I'm buzzing. Get a few days in the sun because I think Paris is about 23 and it's a bit nicer than the weather here at the moment. Fleetwood down to 9 men. Is Joey Barton still manager of Fleetwood? Acorns don't fall far from the tree, etc., etc. So that's Bendy Mendy. How about Ilkay Gundogan? I got her on. Hey, Dre, nice to have you on board, buddy. Very nice. Take it easy, mate. Have a good night. Let's go on to Ilkay Gundogan. Let's get through these quickly, guys. I want some shut-eye tonight. I've got a lot to do tomorrow. Go on. Zip through your ratings, man. Just do it. Yeah, Ikram. No one's a big fan of Barton. Hey, thanks, Storm. Storm's given 8.5 to Ilkay Gundogan. Hey, Abdallah. No worries, mate. Hey, life is life. Life is more important than coming on a live stream. But it's good to have you, mate. Good to have you. So we're up to Gundogan. Gundogan's getting an 8. Dalesman giving Gundogan 8. Aaron's giving him a 7. Mark, I don't know who you're talking. Mendy, look, Mendy's got to really prove himself for me. Prince of the Northwest, how you doing, mate? Made some dodgy moves. Gundogan's getting a 6 from Danny. Wow. We've just spanked Liverpool 4-0. So Gundogan's getting a 7 from Dre, 8.5 for KDB, 8.5 for Sterling, 4.5. Hey, some good marks. So I'm going to go, seems to be my number, 7.5 from Gundogan. Look, Liverpool, you've got to look at the quality of Liverpool as well. Liverpool are a cracking team, put us under a lot of pressure. And there's going to be mistakes are going to happen. They're going to happen. So Mark's giving him an 8. Abdallah's giving him a 7. Ilkay gets a 7.5 from Blackpool Blu-ray, and I've given him a 7.5 as well. I think that's going to be my standard for the night. What about Rodri? Obviously, quite a few people were concerned, slightly concerned. Some people were very concerned to have Rodri and Ilkay Gundogan in midfield. They worried that it would slow things down. I'll be honest, I was concerned about that lineup. Prince of the Northwest, 8.5 from Rodri. Gundo had a big game, says the Storm. I think the midfield the midfield have to compete with Liverpool's midfield of energy, high energy, and with Fabinho, with Henderson, and with Wijnaldum. That's like a machine-like midfield. It's an engine. Okay, so they have to deal with them. Ikram's giving Rodri a 7. He could offer better protection for the back four, but not too bad. Danny's giving him a 7.5. Storm's giving him an 8.5. Daleman's giving him a 7.5. Abdallah Alamami gives him an 8. I'm going to give him a 7.5. Rodri looked dodgy trying to pass through the press, as did most. Yeah, look, as I said, that press of Liverpool, it's a tough one to get past. And Blackpool Blue Rays giving Rodri a 7, 7.5 from Faris. Let's move on to the creativity and the delivery. KDB. What can you say about KDB? He looked like a leader on the pitch for us. Generally, most of what he touched was good. He was driving force. He had some power, some pace. He scored a cracking penalty. You can argue, it's a lot of numbers there, 10s here. You can argue that it was a well taken, penalties you should be scoring, but it was bang, smack bang, right in that corner. Rodri's getting a 7.5 from Faris, 7 from Mark. The Prince of the Northwest and Aaron are giving KDB a 10. Aaron's giving him a 10. Danny's giving him a 10. Wow. KDB's getting a 9 from the Daleman. Best midfielder in the world, Premier League Player of the Season, Ballon d'Or contender alongside Lewandowski. KDB gets a 10 out of 10 from Ikram. I'm not going to go that far. You know me. I mean, I'm happy to give good marks. The Storm's giving him a 9. Storm says, as usual, just an amazing player right now. Abdallah gives him a 10. I'm going to give him a 9. I think he had another very, very good instrumental performance. He got that penalty. Sorry, he scored the penalty and he set up Phil Foden with that 1-2. Very good. What people think it's easy to pass under pressure. It's really hard. You have to be fast and aware and accurate. Rodri did well under pressure. Yeah, I think that's why I give him 7.5. I think 7.5's decent. No, I don't know yet. I'm not sure, Ikram. You're a young lad. I mean, you got to remember Beckham had a sweet foot. Beckham, he's good crosser, good free kick taker, sweet foot. So that's just one that pops into my head straight away. And they got some of the Arsenal players of old. KDB 9 couldn't split him and Foden. So we're going to move on to. Let's do Phil Foden because Blackpool Blue Rays mentioned him. Another class. Composed performance from Phil Foden. And one thing about KDB and Phil Foden I noticed, they got between the Liverpool lines, and that's so important. So they were behind their midfield, but in front of their defence. So, that is one of the reasons that we caused so much havoc, because we were between the lines. So Foden's a 9 from the Prince of the Northwest, 9 from, I'm trying to keep up with this. So Faris give KDB an 8.5. Prince of the Northwest give a 9 to Foden. Aaron gives a 9. Abdallah gives him a 10, 9.6 from Danny, 8.5 from Faris, 9 from the Daleman. I'm going to give him a 9 as well. Can't separate him from KDB. He scored a very nice goal. Phil has scored, is that his 4th league goal? 4th league goal. And look, guys, I did a long stream earlier on. Go and check that out about news. And I talked about Phil Foden there and what Pep has been saying about Phil Foden. He's played on the left, he's played on the right, he can play in the middle. And Pep says he could play defensive midfield if you want it, or holding midfield. But right now, where he wants him is in that attacking area, because he says he just knows how to play, and he knows what how to shoot and score. So he wants him up there. Foden absolutely fabulous. Look, as he was back in the under-18s, dominant. 9 there, 9.5 from Ikram, 8 from Mark. Storm gives him 8.5. Phil used his time very well. Doesn't need time to score, especially for his. Yeah, he knows where it is, and he's doing the business now. You can't knock him in. David Silva's going to have his protege is going to be. It could even be better. I mean, that's a big thing for me to say right now, but I think Phil Foden could offer just a little bit more. And it's going to. He's only 20. It's giving some time, but fantastic. 4 in 4, I think, since the restart for Foden. He's been fab anti-Abdallah. And he got an assist on the Sterling goal as well last night. So we move on from Raheem. We'll move to Raheem since we mentioned him. Raheem Sterling. So he won us a penalty where Gomez grabbed everything. He even grabbed him in the crown jewels as well, trying to steal them. And he gave that penalty away. So, I think Sterling had another good game overall. As I said, won the penalty, scored a goal, was a tad greedy for one other occasion, but he's done really well. Prince of the Northwest gives him a 9.5. The Storm gives him 9. Aaron gives him 9.5. Faris, but I think he's different from Silva. He's more creative. Yeah. But I think Foden can be creative as well. It's just going to take time. He's only 20. David Silva came to us when he was it 23 or 24? Anyway, so I'm giving Sterling a 9 as well. I'm going to give Sterling a 9. I think he had a cracking performance again. Sterling gets a 10 from Abdallah Alamami. Abdallah throwing the 10s out tonight. Raz gets an 8.5 from Blackpool Blu-ray. 8.5 would have been 9 if it wasn't for greediness, says Danny. But I mean, if you look at Sterling, he's got a goal, won the penalty, and that own goal. So you got a goal and 2 assists. Not bad. I think Foden has got a better eye. I totally agree with that. And finally, Gabriel Jesus. Now, for me, very disappointed with Gabby. He was offside 3 times when he needn't have been offside any of those times. He had so much time, so much space. He just didn't know where he was. He didn't know where he was. He worked hard, but he didn't know where he was for those 3 offsides. And he had 2 other opportunities, I believe, and he fluffed them. So I've got to say I'm disappointed with his performance overall. And all the players have got good marks tonight. I think he's going to struggle. So Prince of the Northwest gives him a 6. Faris gives him a 7. Gabby gets a 6 from Abdallah Alamami. A 7 from Faris. So I've done that. I'm going to give Gabby J a 6.5 because we won so comfortably. But, I think if we'd struggled, he'd been walking away with a low score. I think people, he wouldn't have even got a 6 from people if we'd lost that game. Jesus gets a 6.5, play him against Southampton. I would play him against Southampton, I think. But the thing is, it's only a 3-day gap. It's only a 3-day gap. So, you'd expect Maris to start the game. You'd expect who else might start? You might get Otamendi starting, or John Stones, or Cancelo, or Zinchenko. So we've got a lot of options. 6.5 from Blackpool Blu-ray. The story, he needs to be more composed. Yeah, it looks a bad day at the office for Gabby J, and let's hope he gets a bit better. Delap has just been called to train with the first team. Good. That's excellent news, Arashvia. Nice to have you on board. Just as we finished the player ratings, it's good to. Oh, Aaron, come on, Aaron. Even if we won that game, and he contributed to that, dragging players around as well. That's actually harsh. No, I don't think Jamal. I don't think Jesus is going. City can't afford Jesus to go unless we're going to buy 2 new strikers. We can't afford, or at least 1 top level striker. But the worry is that. Aguero might have, he's having injuries every season. He's 32. He's not as fast as he was. He doesn't work as hard, I don't believe. He hasn't got the same levels of stamina. So I think we do need another striker, and I don't really think we can let Gabby Jesus go. Even if we got Haaland, I wouldn't let Gabby J go. I'd say to him, you stay for 1 more season. You show us that you can do it. He gets the game time. You can't turn around and say he doesn't get the game time. And we score an absolute shed load of goals. So it gives everybody a chance to score. Yeah, Danny, that's what I'm thinking. You can't give a 3 when we beat champions 4-0. Ikram, I want Jesus to stay as long as possible, whether he's a first choice or backup. I love everything about this guy. Look, I like the fact that he can play on the left and he works hard. I think our Premier League schedule is very easy. Southampton or Newcastle would be challenging. We are in the best position to rotate and prepare for the Champions League and FA Cups. As far as not easy when everyone wants to fill Aguero's look. Yeah, it's big pressure. But at the end of the day, it's the same way I say about Garcia. It's the same thing I say about Phil Foden or Mendy or anybody. You know, you're playing in our first team. You're playing in our first team. So you've got to do the business. It's as simple as that. You know, we'll cut you a little bit of slack, but not much. Seriously, I'm not going to give you too much. Let's look at our game. So we've got obviously Southampton on Sunday away. We got Newcastle at home. You'd like to think we'd step up for that. And Brighton away. You'd like to think we'd step up for that. Then we got Bournemouth at home. So you'd like to think for each of those games, I'd like to think they're all winnable games. Then we've got Arsenal in the FA Cup. I mean, actually, that Bournemouth game, you'd like also, I mean, the game's on a Wednesday, the FA Cup's on a Saturday. So I think the Bournemouth game, that's the game that I would expect us to rest players. You know, we'll rotate around, but I think that's the game to rest your big players. Then Arsenal in the FA Cup on the 18th, and then 3 days later, away at Watford, and then we finish with a home game at Norwich, against Norwich, where we do get 5 days break. Is that possible? 5 days. Just checking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more games for City. So we get 5 days break at the end. So, you know, I just want us to keep rotating, keep doing what we're doing. And, you know, hopefully we'll have fit players for the FA Cup semi-final and final if we get there. Those games aren't going to be easy. All those teams, really, they want something out. They want something. Even Southampton and Newcastle, you know, they're. I don't think they're going to get in Europe and stuff like that. But Newcastle on 42 points. I mean, points are money. You know, Newcastle. I mean, you could look at it this way: if City win the Champions League and don't get booted out of the Champions League, and City win the FA Cup, just as an example, that means I think I think that means the winners will go in the Europa League positions will go down to maybe 7th. Europa League, I think it will go down to 7th, maybe even 8th. I'm not sure exactly, but I think 7th. Now, Palace are on 42. They're only 5 points behind Sheffield United. Newcastle on 42. 7 points behind Sheffield United. 6 games to go. It can happen. Southampton, I think, is a bit harder. They're on 40 points, but they're comfortable. But you never know. You know, if Southampton could win 5 games and end up on 55 points, they might sneak into Europe. It's a crazy old season where it's very, very tight. But we should be winning. Let's be honest, we should be winning. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the relegation teams will step up, and the teams looking for Europe. And I don't think Southampton want to go quietly. Finish this season off quietly. There you go, Ikram. If it goes down to 8th, eighth right now has got 46 points. I mean, Southampton has 6 points off Arsenal. Okay, the goal difference is 20 worse, but there's 6 points off Arsenal. A good finish to the season. You don't know. Newcastle are 4 points off Arsenal, 5 off Sheffield United. A good finish to the season. They could do it. You know, even Everton, even Burnley on 45 points. It's a crazy situation. Burnley on 45, Tottenham on 45, Arsenal on 46, Sheffield United 47. And there's lots of teams obviously playing each other, taking points off each other. Someone could do that. Oh, we've done it well. We've done it well, Prince of Northwest. We come second, but we've come out and, look, I said it with Bernard. I'll say it again. We rode our luck. But once we were ahead, then I think we really battered them, and it was good. I wish we got a bit more actually. When you're winning by that much, I want a bit more. I want a few more goals. Right, guys. I'm going to disappear, guys. It's my lot. It's 20 to 10. 20 to 10. Guys, have a great evening. Tomorrow, what's happening tomorrow? I'm recording a Bolt from the Blue podcast in the morning. Hopefully that'll come out sometime tomorrow. I'll try and see if I can get that on our channel as well. I'm still trying to find a Southampton fan so I can do a preview with them tomorrow. Very hard. The guy, as I said, the guy I used to do it with, I think he's taken a back step from social media. Schedule for tomorrow, Ikram. Hopefully I'll get this Liverpool composite team out by around lunchtime. That's the plan. Then we might, that's it. And then we'll do a live stream in the evening. Yeah, of course, Storm, I speak French. I'm not fantastic, but I can more than hold my own. I lived there for 8 years. I've forgotten, I've not been there for 2 years now, so I've forgotten a lot of my French, but I can get by. So the schedule, tomorrow, hopefully that, but it's going to be a long edit because it's an hour-long video. So to edit that video will take me probably an hour and a half. And then to upload it might take, we're looking at 3 or 4 hours work to get that video out. So that's a big task, but hopefully I'll get that done. That'll go out tomorrow, fingers crossed, or Sunday. Tomorrow, I'm trying to get it tomorrow. And then the Bolt from the podcast, hopefully that will go out on Sunday. And I'll do a stream tomorrow night with or without a Southampton fan. It's not going to make any difference. And then Monday, hopefully I'll get the Bernard interview on Monday. Obviously the matches and all that on Sunday. The Bernard interview, hopefully I'll get that out on Monday with some others. Guys, look after yourselves. Have a good evening. Have great weekends. Look after yourselves. The coronavirus, COVID-19 hasn't gone away, but take care. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. See you around, Blue.